nice centering prayer. If you just get comfortable, taking in that music. We are a point of light in the light of God. And so what I know in this moment is that there is that one light that is all creation itself. That is bright, that is brilliant, that is obvious. And I know for each one of us that we are here today by divine appointment. And so that is the truth for us. Anyone listening on Zoom or Facebook, it is the truth of you as well. And so I know that in this day that we bless the music, we bless the meditations that happen just within ourselves. We bless Carol Rose as she delivers an amazing message as the light that she is. And I know for each one of us that there is something here on offer and something magical is happening. All that is yet to be, I simply give thanks, allowing it to unfold in its perfect way. And together we affirm.
Oh, trying to be as tall as Denise.
I have to stretch.
Hi, I'm Kalita Reed, and good morning.
Good morning.
I want to welcome you all to Everyday Center for Spiritual Living, where we empower each other to live joy-filled lives
Every day.
I don't think I have to tell you this, but silence your cell phones. And are there any first-time visitors here? Anybody who hasn't been here in a while and would like to let us know they're here this time? Anybody on Facebook or Zoom?
We're just new every day here.
That's great. They're new every day in Pasadena. Does anyone have a birthday or a celebration or something they want to tell us about? Stephen.
Hi, I am going to be 81 tomorrow.
Wow.
This is exactly the formula that makes me 18 and ready to graduate. Ready to start drinking more. And I wanted to share a little blurb from my third grade. I got to experience a couple of Indians, and I've been studying about what to become when I became an adult. Lawyers, doctors, Indian chiefs. I wanted to be an Indian at that moment. I was very disappointed when I got a little older and found out that I could not be an Indian.
So congratulations to Stephen. His birthday is tomorrow and it's 81.
Woo!
Yay! Any other celebrations, Carol?
I just want to celebrate that I had a lovely time in South Carolina last weekend with my 3 adult grandchildren and their partners. It was quite amazing to be with 6 20-somethings for 4 days and experience life as they experience it. It's cool.
Awesome.
That's great. Carol was last week in one of the Carolinas with her grandchildren and their partners. Anyone else? Well, that's great. Can we sing happy birthday? Did we want to play the pianos around happy birthday? Happy birthday to you. We celebrate you. We celebrate you. We celebrate you. Okay, shall we stand up and greet each other?
We should. Absolutely. I'll take another.
This is Suzanne. Hi, I'm
See Ellie after service.
To find out more.
To get more details. That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, announcements. Check your email for an important announcement about our upcoming annual meeting. It's on April 30th, and if you're interested in knowing more about serving on the board, please, we need some more people on the board. Or you want to verify your membership and make sure you're listed as a member, see Jackie Hydra, Jackie, or Reverend Ann when she returns. Conscious giving forms are available on the super snack table. Your commitment to sponsor this center and support it in our ministry enables us to not only continue to grow, but while you're there, why not sign up to bring snacks next Sunday?
Yeah.
Today's practitioners on duty for prayer following the service are Denise Ferlisi here in the sanctuary and Jean Watson on Zoom. Jean? Take advantage of this opportunity for a one-on-one faith lift. Took me a while to say that. Next Sunday, Reverend Ann asked the questions, myth or miracle? Special music, yes, or the Fortet.
Quartets.
Fortet?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Shall we have a sing-along with Jackie?
Well, we
Actually,
already did that, so.
we're gonna do the inspirational,
Okay, great.
oh, I would let everyone know about Ellie's event that she's got on the
Ah.
16th.
Ellie is going to will be available after the service to tell any of you who are interested about an event here in the sanctuary on April 16th. So please see Ellie if you'd like to know more about that event.
Oh, just with a short piece.
Oh, okay,
It's
sorry.
just setting up the 4 directions.
So it's not one of these two pieces at the end?
Just a little prelude.
Got it, okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
You know, spontaneous
Okay,
prelude.
no problem. Should I just do a little flute?
But we know you're up for it.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. All right, we're awake now.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm sorry I haven't been so, huggy, but I'm having some after effects. Okay, 4 directions. The heart knows. Connect to divine within and access the power of your heart. Its wisdom and grace will guide, comfort, uplift, and inspire you to be who you have come here to be. Please stand and face east. East, air. Air is the most unique and mysterious of all the elements. It represents all that cannot be seen, the soul, heart, and spirit world. It can be unpredictable, playful, seductive, and soothing. Slowly breathe in. As you breathe out, trust in the wide open spaces of spirit. The time has come to soar higher and experience vibrant living. Please turn to your right. South. Fire is considered a primary agent of change. Through its heat, fire purifies and transforms. The energy of fire is about self-expression in its alluring and wildly brilliant dance of light. Step into the fire and live. Slowly breathe in. As you breathe out, let go of all limiting beliefs and step into the fiery spark of creation as you live out loud. Please turn to your right. West, water. Water represents the flow of life. It gracefully conforms to any container or environment. It is a powerful example of non-resistance. Be aware of the day-to-day currents and move freely with them. Slowly breathe in. As you breathe out, let go and give yourself completely to the wisdom and flow within. You are awake and in awe. Please turn to your right. North, earth. Earth energy is nurturing and grounding. A deep bond with the heart of Mother Earth is foundational for spiritual health because it gives each one a sense of purpose, invites us to be open and receptive, and reminds us of our interconnectedness with all life. Slowly breathe in. As you breathe out, take time to let go of the busyness of life and embrace the quiet by connecting with Mother Earth. Please turn to your center aisle or face your computer, your face screen. Close your eyes, put your hands over your heart, and feel the presence of these elements within, honoring each as an element of spirit. Now open your eyes, take a moment, and as you see the eyes of God, notice God looking back at you.
Good morning, everyone. So we just settle into that energy of the 4 directions and noticing the divine within the room and in each other's eyes. And so the reading today I have is called Spring. Spring is ripe with new beginnings and coiled possibilities. We hear strains of magic and strands of mystery, calling us to set forth, paying attention to the small, soft mysteries and the wild magics of just where we are. There is a quickening inside, and we are called to the riverside, bearing witness to the birth waters of spring. Streams once tamed now leap their banks, charging with fury across the lands, charting new routes and refusing to stay inside boundaries. Our tears of winter flood and join that rushing water, striking out to sea. With all our strength we cry out to ancestral memory, to life beat rushing through our veins, to waters of the original womb. We dip our hands into the cool current and anoint our bellies. As we touch wet fingers to our bodies, we hear distant whale songs. This waterway connected to the next, and to the next. Each future of each, being entwined in ripples, bubbles, and waves. May we quench our thirst with tinctures of patience, action, reverence, and justice. That's by Molly Rimmer. So today, the affirmation that I've created, and I'll read it once through and then we can repeat it if you would like. I feel the rebirth of spring within me and celebrate the season with reverence and joy. Okay, I feel the rebirth of spring within me and celebrate the season with reverence and joy.
And celebrate the season with reverence and joy.
And so it surely is.
Well, we've already had a little bit of an introduction,
Jackie, could you get to a microphone,
and
please, somewhere? Even
I think many of us have heard Suzanne, Teng, and Gilbert Levy before, and absolutely were enthralled with their music. They're a husband and wife musical partners who have created 6 international award-winning albums and a wonderful 20-year-old son together who is in New York in college right now. They perform as a duo and with their world music ensemble, Mystic Journey, which I checked out today, and you can find videos on YouTube if you want to listen to them again after today's performance. Their music can be heard on hundreds of films, television, and commercial soundtracks. So let's give a big, huge welcome to Suzanne and Gilbert.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Jackie was asking us about our updated bio since we last came, and our son is now 20, and she corrected that from 19. But I also wanted to update, we have 7 CDs now.
Oh.
We released one in November. It's called Shimmer. And we've also won a few more awards, so excited and proud about that. I think that's it for the updates. We're happy to be here and see you guys again. This is a Mayan flute. It's a model. It's a replica of an ancient Mayan flute. But the scale is as true to this original as the maker could make it. And the maker of this flute is kind of unique. I don't know if I've played one of his flutes here before and told you the story, but I was playing at a flute festival in Potomac, Virginia, and there were a lot of flute makers there, and I didn't know him. I didn't know the East Coast makers that well, and he very generously gifted me with this flute. And as I got to know this man, who was this nice big jolly guy, he was so interesting. He's a former canine officer, policeman, and a vet, and a very tough guy. But I saw him as this flute maker, and as I got to know him, I understood his full personality, and he told me how he records his own music, and he has his CDs, and he puts them in the police car, where he did when he was active, and produced whatever, criminals, whatever he called them, in the backseat of the car, and he put the music on, and he said, his whole vision was to just piece them out. Sometimes, most of the times it works, sometimes it didn't, but so I thought, here's a real true peace officer, So I like to share that story about him. It's very generous of him to give me this flute, and I just fell in love with it. So I have a few of them. So this is a piece we wrote, and it's on our album called Autumn Monsoon, and it's a piece called Maya, and Gilbert's playing the udu, which is a clay drum from Nigeria.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Carol Rose, practitioner here at the Everyday Center, and this is only the second time I've ever done this. Last time was way back on 5th Street, so I'd been telling Reverend Ann for a while that I would be willing to do it, and I told her I had this talk title called Sowing Sweet Seeds. And then last night, I think it was last night, I got her email saying the talk title was Celebrating SEDER. And she sent me a really sweet email saying, don't worry about it, whatever you do will be fine. And I have to say, I'm just going to have goosebumps here because that music was so profound. Oh my God. I got this image of we're all sitting around a campfire, okay? Picture us all in a big circle around this wonderful campfire. And tonight, I'm going to say, I'm designated to be the storyteller. So that's how I'm seeing it right now. Whew. So I'm going to just briefly talk about the celebrating SEDER part, which, and I know we have an expert in the room, so forgive me. I just have the barest of knowledge of this. But the gist of it that I understood is the Jews were in bondage for a long, long time to the Egyptians. And their journey, as we know from the Old Testament, finally led them to freedom and the Passover. And the SEDER is about that. The SEDER is about letting go and finding liberation and release from the bondage. Okay, is that good enough? Okay, I have her thumbs up. Awesome. And so, interestingly enough, my talk about sowing sweet seeds and my story, I'm going to give you some of my story, is kind of follows that sort of theme. And I wanted to refer to, there was one place in the Four Directions that struck me, letting go of all limiting beliefs. So I'll just say a limiting belief for me was that I could get up here and make a fool of myself, and I didn't want to do that. And stepping into the fiery spark of creation and living out loud. And why that strikes me is because some of you have been around long enough to know that one time, years ago, I did a one-woman show called Living Out Loud. And it was little vignettes of my life. And so, briefly, part of my story that goes along with the, with starting out with, we'll say, suffering and moving into freedom is that I grew up in an alcoholic home. There was drinking every night. I remember my parents used to close the door to the kitchen and they would say, go play and we'll let you know when supper's ready, because they had to have their cocktails. The irony of that is I grew up to do the same thing to my children, interestingly enough. But anyway, so I went through a period of life where it was, I guess you could call suffering. It was not knowing, who I really was or where I was going, and drinking was a way of not feeling feelings. Drinking was a way of avoiding stuff, And fortunately for me, in a way, my second husband was a crazy, raging alcoholic. And I finally realized I needed to leave him and got help and left. And in that process, that's what allowed me to find my way to sobriety. And so I got sober originally in January of 1983, and that's where I found freedom. So leaving him actually was, I remember for years, I used to celebrate the day I left him as my freedom day. And it allowed me to find my way to going back to school, to letting my kids, I had 2 sons, to letting my sons go live with their father, because I knew that was a better thing for them and for me, even though it was the most painful thing I think I've ever done in my life. But I found freedom, and I also found sobriety in AA, and that continued the process. So sowing sweet seeds is kind of, it comes from, I listen to these meditation things on YouTube all the time, and there's one one I'm going to call him a Buddhist monk. I think he is. He's in the UK. His name is Boergs, and he just has the sweetest Buddhist meditations about sowing sweet seeds and about how Buddha taught that suffering was part of life, but it doesn't have to be. That we don't have to sow seeds of suffering. We don't have to sow seeds of, for instance, anger or resentment or whatever. That we can choose to sow seeds of love and peace and joy. And I believe that my life has continued on that track. With sobriety, eventually, staying sober in AA, I was looking for something deeper, looking for a deeper connection, even though AA is about finding a power greater than yourself so that you can live life without alcohol. But I wanted something deeper, and I started looking for a community, a spiritual community, before I ever moved to New Mexico, and never quite found it. I thought I found it in Springer at the Methodist Church, and I became a Methodist and got all involved in that. And somehow, eventually, that just went sideways. And I came to Santa Fe, and I was with someone. There's a lot of different men, unfortunately, in my life. but the man I was with when I came here had a copy of Living the Science of Mind. And I remember he showed it to me, and I opened it up and started reading, and I said, that's it. That's it. This is what I've been looking for. But it took me, that was 1998, I believe. It took me a long time to find my way into a Science of Mind center, the other center, back in, I want to say, early 2010, because my experience with the Methodist Church kind of had me a little hesitant to find my way into an actual formal, worship place. At any rate, when I did walk into my first Sunday service with the Everyday Center back in 2010, as some of you know, in Gail's living room, I felt that was it. I was home. And so my journey has been going deeper. And interestingly enough, because I felt at home, I decided to start taking classes, and I was fortunate that they were teaching classes that led to being a practitioner. And I don't know that I started out wanting to be a practitioner, but I just sort of kept following the path because I just loved learning, and I loved learning more about this philosophy. And because this philosophy for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you, because that's why you're sitting here, is so wonderfully inclusive and open, unlike a lot of the dogmas that I experienced prior to this. So I just kept going. And so I became a practitioner in 2014, and I'm still excited about that, about this journey, because I continue to learn and grow. So back to this whole theme of sowing sweet seeds, we come here and we're told that we have choice, right? We have choice in every moment. We have choice. We can choose freedom or we can choose bondage. And the thing that I like about this particular Buddhist monk stuff is it really dovetails. I mean, we know that Ernest Holmes studied all different philosophies and religions, and so I'm sure there's a lot of Buddhism in what he has shared with us. So I like that I can be open to all different kinds of philosophies, and it all just kind of comes together. And it can be difficult, this idea of suffering. There's a phrase a lot of you probably know: pain is inevitable, and suffering is optional. So we don't have to stay there. It's kind of like you don't have to rent space in that, in that arena. And I find that for me on my journey, when I was first early in sobriety, I was so used to that suffering and that difficulty and struggle that I often was there more often than in another place. And now I find, over having done this, this work and been part of growing and deepening my spiritual life through Science of Mind and AA, that I I don't like the difficulty. I don't like the suffering. I don't like to be uncomfortable. So I'm quicker to find a way out. I'm quicker to pray, to meditate, to call someone, to talk to someone. Whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. Whatever it takes. So what I know is that I have the capacity to be more and more in a place of peace and love and joy, and less in a place of difficulty and suffering. So the sowing sweet seeds, I want to just kind of take it to an actual thing about seeds, because we all know that we can't plant tomatoes and get cucumbers, right? And so we need to sow those seeds of love and peace and whatever. But in terms of actual sowing, I live way outside of town where, it's not really conducive to gardening and stuff. Although I do have a fenced-in backyard, and I planted some morning glory seeds a few years ago. And the first year, I could show you pictures. The first year, there was maybe one strand going up the trellis, right? And the next year, I don't think I planted any seeds, but I had someone working, doing some other work in my yard, and they cleared a space where the morning glories had been the year before, and she said, oh look, all these morning glories are coming up again. So the second year, I had several strands. And I didn't plant any again last year. And last year, because of the way the rains were, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe. I had morning glories just going over and both sides of the fence and everywhere, and they just kept coming back. And I love that. And this year, I've gone out to buy some morning glory seeds because I'm kind of feeling like I would like to have some in other places. So sowing sweet seeds has all different connotations. And one of the things that also was a theme through this, and I think it was kind of a theme through the celebrating of SEDER, is that this sense of, we sometimes have a sense of separation, but the reality is we're all one. And we talk about that here, and that we are all one. And he talks about that a lot in this Buddhist meditation stuff too. So I think that helps me a lot to know that I'm no different than any of you. Maybe any of you could get up here and do this. It's not really, I'm not really telling you anything you don't already know, is the reality of it, right? Right. But what I know about that is that for years, I still go to AA meetings, okay? I'm going to celebrate 21 years this week, only because I had 18 years and I thought I didn't need AA, and I thought a drink of wine would be a good idea. Wasn't. But so I had 18 years, and now I'm going to have 21 years. The reason I keep going to AA meetings is not because I need to, because I might drink. It's because I need to be reminded of why I don't drink, of the wonders of being sober and living a sober life. And I come here for the same kinds of reasons. I come here to be reminded that we're all one, to be reminded that I have a choice, to be reminded that I can sow sweet seeds of love and peace. It helps me with my being an owner of a business. It helps me with my marriage. Husband number 4, by the way. But we've been together 21 years, so that's a big deal. Never did that before. Anyway, I need this. I don't know about you guys, but I need this. I need you all. I need to know that we are one, that we are connected, whether I see you every week or not. I need to know that the way I'm feeling inside is possibly the way you're feeling inside. Even though outside you may look different. I may think, oh, she's just got it made, and she doesn't get scared of anything, and all that sort of thing, And that's not necessarily true. So I'm just so grateful to have had this opportunity to be here with you this morning. And I hope that I probably had a lot of other things to say, but this feels like enough. And so I hope that, even one of you got something out of what I said today. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, I have a seeds, a morning glory seeds story. I'm just gonna share quickly. So when we first moved here 12 years ago, 12 going on 13, I loved morning glories all around Santa Fe, and then I planted some, and then I put them in the compost pile, and now I can't. They're in the vegetable garden. And then there are the other vegetable gardens, they're everywhere, they take over. So I'm trying to think of some wonderful poetic way to say, just don't put them in your compost pile. Because you'll never get rid of them, they're so beautiful, but they're like when I plant my vegetables, all my little seedlings are little morning glories, and I have to pick them out first, and let the other ones survive. So they're very prolific, and they endure those lovely morning glories. Gilbert whispered to me, even though we're doing an improvisation kind of thing, he wanted to introduce us, so I'm curious what he has to say.
Well, almost 2 years ago, we lost our red-tick coonhound to old age, and he or she reminds me of Jack. So we held off on getting a dog, and we just got a little Havanese puppy, who is a little, just a whippersnapper. She's taken over the whole house, and it's brought joy. The cats aren't so sure yet, but it's brought a lot of joy to us, and it's changed the energy of the household, and it was much bigger for us than I thought it would be. So I was going to say, name this song her name, which is Bougie, but I think we should call it Sowing Sweet Seeds.
Oh. So this is a bamboo flute that is actually, I forget where he lives, but it's my favorite maker, and he harvests it here in the States. It's kind of modeled after an Indian bansuri, but Patrick Cole is his name. And Gilbert's playing Kanjura,
Which is a South Indian drum.
small but mighty, and sowing sweet seeds, here you are. would do that when I played something like the Hugo. She would do it. So that just brought Jack back into the room for us. Wherever you are, Misty, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Wow, so amazing, and I just love to see the creativity that just being in tune with the rhythm of the energy brings, and an original song came out of that, and of course Misty played, her little sidekick. So.
Oh, there she is.
There she- So anyway, thank you so much again. It was really beautiful. All right, everyone, now it's time for our conscious giving. So if our ushers could come and join me at the front here. And so we're talking about the theme of sowing sweet seeds. Whatever you're doing with your contribution, whether it's in form now or you've done it online or it's you're energetic, just imagine the seeds that offering is bringing. Sowing sweet seeds of community, of generosity, of prosperity. And just infuse it with your energy in thinking of those things. And so join me please as we say our sharing affirmation. The love of Spirit blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly. And so it is. Just focus your attention, please, on the baskets and all that it contains, knowing with me that it's expanding, it's growing, it's overflowing to serve our community, to serve Santa Fe, to serve New Mexico, and in ways that we don't even know. We just freely let it be, and so it is. So it is. Okay, as we're beginning to circle up, let's, Carol, you want to lead this?
Sure.
I just want to remind you that I'm available for prayer. Jane Watson online is available for prayer. Ellie's got an announcement in the back if you're interested in what's going on here on the 16th. And Diana Lee, be ready, please, to say the words that people have put in on the Zoom platform. And thank you all for being here. It's been just a great day.